that stunk. Blue Jays lost. Real bad.
Yes, son. That was bad.
And I think at least one of us believes it was the worst loss that the Blue Jays have suffered this entire 2022 season. We're going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about the game too. Plus, after 3 weeks of waiting, Prospect Roundup is back. It's on Locked On Blue Jays, and it starts pronto.
You are Locked On Blue Jays, your daily Toronto Blue Jays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Bienvenue and welcome to Locked On Blue Jays. Thanks so much for making us your first listen every day, especially on this Friday with Matt Bonaparte. I'm Ben Shulman. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Stitcher, YouTube, Locked On Blue Jays, Twitter at Locked On Jays, Gmail, Locked On Blue Jays, Real, R-E-A-L, at gmail.com. This is our last episode before the All-Star break, kind of, sort of.
No, kind of, maybe.
Well, like, there will be a Monday
There will be a Monday up. Yeah.
But that will be amidst the All-Star break.
That's the day of the Home Run Derby.
And we're going to have...
Pujols is going to hit 45 million home runs.
And we have up-to-date takes
matches age
coming up. Yeah, check out our email. We'd love to make the second half, not really the second half, but the post-All-Star break, about you and what you want to hear. So please email us. And yeah, let's get into this ball game. We're not going to discuss yet whether we think it's the worst loss of the season, but we're just going to break it down. So the Blue Jays taking on the Royals, who obviously have a lot of people who aren't necessarily regular Royals playing in this game, and they lost 3-1. They got zerped by Zerpa. I honestly don't even remember this guy's first name. Angel. Zerpa. 5 innings, 1 run. Matt Chapman hit a solo shot. Guy's kind of hot right now, but yeah, that didn't go well.
You know who's hot? My scary Bobby Witt, even though there's no H in there. He had a tank. Yeah. That was such a bad game. Like, Edward Olivares went 3 for 3 with a walk and an RBI. What's going on here?
He's kind of having a good year.
I don't care. That guy stinks in the grand scheme of things. You're supposed to be a team that has a chance at a World Series. The Royals are 36 and 53. Listen,
they're 4 games over 500. Let's stop pretending they're like a 100-win team.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they are supposed to be that. But
that's according to outside voices. Like, I really don't.
That's according to the roster that I see before me. That is what it's according to.
Because a bunch of pundits said that they
pundits. What do you mean? What do you mean, pundits? They have arguably one of the best corner outfielder talents in one of the best corner outfield tandems in baseball in Lourdes and Teoscar. They have some of the best infielders in baseball. They have the best catcher in baseball right now, and they should have 3 aces. They should.
But they don't.
And I'm saying that they should.
If you compare them to being a World Series team, though, they always stink. They could win and stink. So I just don't know if that's like a useful exercise at this point.
Okay, fine. They should be an ALDS winning team. All right? Okay. They should be.
Let's just move on from that. Yeah, I mean, it stinks. They just had a big offensive breakthrough, and then scored 1 run against the Royals. Like, they pitched fine enough to win this game. Totally pitched fine enough to win. Kevin Gausman, who was your hype train, he had a good game. Like, coming off an injury, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. That absolutely should turn into a win. It's hilarious how well they hit for Barrios and how poorly they hit for Gausman, but that's a discussion for another time. But yeah, I will say before we start dumping on them again, it is at least nice that Gosman came back and like didn't really miss a beat.
Yeah. I just can think of the poor moms and dads out there who are saying, "Oh, let's take little Susie and little Johnny to this game on a Thursday night in the summer, good July night. Jays will beat up on this Garbo team. They did like a high five because they were so proud of their plan. We'll get pizza before the game or something. Chow down on some dogs with the homies." And then they watched that. Think of it, the women and children. All right, Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins. Think of the women and children.
I don't know where to go from there. Yeah, they didn't even put that many runners in scoring position, but they were 0 for 5 with them. Anthony Bonda gave up a run, but it doesn't really matter because they should have scored more runs.
Can I just shout out the most paisan name I've ever seen on a baseball player in my life? Vinny Pasquantino. Yeah. Are you kidding me? That's my guy. I got to get a jersey that says Pasquantino on the back. All right. If nothing else, we got to support the Italians here. I know you're not, but I am. This podcast is unhinged.
This game react has gone off the rails, Bones. Not to mention, as we're recording, the Seattle Mariners have mounted a comeback on the Texas Rangers and are leading at 9. But yeah, I mean, they just didn't hit enough. Vladdy went 0 for 4. George went 0 for 3. George has been like putrid for a couple weeks now. Like actually go look at the numbers. Like he's just not been good. So he needs to be significantly better. Yeah, I don't know. They just didn't hit. And I somewhat give them a little bit of the benefit of like, while some guys are missing, that means guys that no one has any book on are coming up. Like this was the first start for Angel Zerpa, which can be good and can be bad. But you have to hit them. The offense has just not been good enough. So that's really all I have to say.
You wouldn't believe how much they're charging for a Vinny Pasquantino jersey in these streets is ridiculous.
It's the same for every jersey, is it not?
These not very good. They should mark it down. Anyway, your guy that you said has got to mount this comeback here in terms of the team, not the game. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did not get a hit tonight.
Yeah.
The man didn't get a hit. Like, someone's got to be like, hey, Vlad, like, I know you like golfed a homer over like the fence the other day, but like, we know we need you to go like nuclear right now. Okay. You have to go crazy and just go out there and start mashing baseballs. Like, someone's got to get in his ear and be like, come on, like, they're not going to win games without you, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, they're especially not going to win a game, even though Bo walked twice and like mostly fine with his night in a vacuum. If Vlad, George, and Bo don't get a hit, they're not going to win the game. Like, they'll never win a game like that. It's just not going to happen. So
yeah, you're right.
It's just not good enough. I don't know. It's hard to like say anything other than like you need to go out and hit, and you just didn't hit today, and that's why you lost.
This one's upsetting.
It is, but good news is we get to talk about how upsetting it is coming up on the other side. But maybe, like Bones said, you were bringing the fam out to that game, and they were like, hey, why'd you bring us to this game? You must not like us. Well, you can make your partner who is mad at you now for bringing you to that game a lot happier if you go check out BlueNile.com, where you can celebrate all of life's special moments. Look, if you're looking for fine jewelry, but you're having trouble choosing, well, Blue Nile has jewelry experts on hand 24/7, available via phone or chat to help you find a memorable gift at every budget. They got simple online tools. They'll let you choose the diamond shape, the size, the clarity, the setting style. Each ring you get is one of a kind. And look, we're going to make your moment sparkle right now with BlueNile.com, because Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off purchases of $500 or more. This podcast exclusive includes engagement. Use code LOCKEDON. That's code LOCKEDON plus Every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today.
Woo! Thanks again for making Locked On Blue Jays your first listen every day. Make sure to check out the live MLB draft show July 17th on Locked On MLB Prospects right after the first round of the MLB draft. Join MLB prospect expert Lindsey Crosby and MLB expert Jeff Ellis. Those guys are going deep on the future stars of Major League Baseball. Subscribe now to Locked On MLB Prospects so you get notified when they go live on MLB Draft Night. Ben. Was that the worst loss of the season?
No, I'm going to say no. It's up there, but I'm going to say no. What do you think?
I think it's hard to be like a one loss, unless it's like so egregious. I think it's hard to be like that loss was the worst one all year, but like this one's certainly in contention. Like certainly in contention. I mean, that was bad.
Yeah, I can give you some competitors. I think both losses to the A's on the road were just brutal.
Yeah, those are bad.
Just brutal. I might say the worst loss that they've had all year, even though it's to a decent team that's like streaking right now, was the series-ending loss to Seattle because a hole in the glove did it, and then you still took the lead back, and then Carlos Santana
That was bad.
hit a homer in the 8th, and like it so looked like they were going to avoid the sweep, like so looked like it. Where do you feel? Let's start with the A's losses. I just think the A's are, especially the first one, the 5-1 loss to Cole Irvin. The A's scored like 3 or 4 runs on Manoah in the first inning. The Kansas City Royals are awful. The Oakland A's are 6.5 games back of them. Like, what? That's outrageous.
The Jays have a knack for losing to bad teams, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
They beat a lot of
It's
good
kind of
teams.
like what they like doing. They beat good teams and they lose
They
to
beat
bad
the Red
teams.
Sox in all 3 series they've played them.
I know, it's nuts. It's crazy stuff. The thing I just keep coming back to, though, is that they lost tonight to a minor league baseball team. I mean, they're like the thing that's so crazy to me about the guys they didn't bring. They've lost 2 catchers. That means they had to bring a backup catcher and then like a guy from AAA or like 2 guys from AAA or something. Like that's nuts. It's bonkers to me. And they still lost. And then if you want to just look at the pitching, it's like they faced guys tonight. Aside from Scott Barlow, I had never heard of them in my life. Angel Zerpa, Jackson Coer, and Taylor Clark were not on my radar before tonight. Coer's the only guy that I had. There was like maybe a whisper. But like other than that, Scott Barlow's the only one. So ridiculousness from Kansas City. But I mean, it's just a bad loss. So the only thing I was thinking was like, they definitely could lose again. But that would certainly have to be a worse loss than this one, right? If they lost a second time.
That's the thing, too. That's why I hesitate to say this was the worst loss. Because, look, they could easily lose again. But if they win the next 3, then it doesn't, like, you won 3 out of 4, you know? And I'm totally happy with them winning 3 out of 4. Like, you do lose games to other Major League Baseball teams, even if they're terrible. So, now that requires them to win 3 out of 4, one of which I believe will have Max Castillo on the mound, who was good in his other start. But, yeah, it's hard. It's hard at game. What was that? It's hard at game 90 to be like, that's the worst loss. Like there will be more important losses, unfortunately.
Well, I don't think it's about importance. It's just like it's astonishing to me that you could just get shut down by nobody, unless Angel Zerpa in 5 years is already shown that he's better than Jacob deGrom or something, and then you can come back to this and be like, that guy's an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, they should have scored more than one. I do think it is sometimes legitimately difficult to face a guy who there's no book on. Like, sometimes I think that guy gets you.
Sure.
But
I guess.
But still, you need more. I'm not going to say that that's an excuse to score one run. They scored 3 runs, then I might say that. Like, 1 run is still pretty awful. Other contenders I had for worst loss, I knew you would like this one, that White Sox loss.
That's it. Actually, that was the worst loss.
I just go back to they go to extras. Vladdy immediately doubles in a run. They have a chance to go up 2 runs and blow it. Not to mention they were leading by multiple runs with 2 outs and nobody on in the 9th, at least by 1.
Yeah, I think they were up 2.
So that one is like, and because that is in a way like I know they beat Boston in this series, but they've pretty much been spiraling since that happened. Like,
Boston series was like a total anomaly.
And like they did just 2-game sweep Philly for what it's worth, but yeah, I don't. It's hard. It's a hard thing to quantify. The other contenders I had, like, not missing as many people, but they lost 9-3 to Minnesota at home, and I know Minnesota's decent, but Minnesota was starting like.
That was when Juan Miranda homered and like Nick Plummer homered.
That was the Kyle Garlick game. He homered
Garlick,
twice.
that was it. Kyle Garlick hit 2 homers, and Juan Miranda hit 2, didn't he?
Miranda hit. Yeah, they both hit 2. Like, that's brutal.
Steel trap.
That's a terrible one. I looked earlier in the year, and I didn't really find one that early that I hated. I mean, losing 8-2 to Cleveland on May 7th sucked, but it was after an 8-3 win in a doubleheader, so it's not like the craziest thing in the world. There have been some big losses to the Yankees, but then again, the Yankees have the best record in baseball, so it's like, what really can you say? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's the most demoralizing loss, and I don't think it's the worst team they've lost to. I mean, maybe, but like Oakland's so bad. I get that like the 10 players not being there probably evens it out, but Oakland is like so bad, and they lost a series to them.
Yeah, Oakland sucks. They're terrible.
So, I mean, it's all. I know we're mostly talking about this, but it's just all in the hitting recently. They haven't pitched that well, but the hitting has been far worse over this bad stretch than the pitching has.
Well, if you want to bet on the Blue Jays, maybe don't. But if you want to bet, go to betonline.net. It's your number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's NHL playoffs that already happened, and Major League Baseball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and more. And betonline.net remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. Betonline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports events, including MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Can I make a request as we head into this third block?
Go ahead.
We need to now abandon everything that we were thinking about before, because I think we need the vibes to be up for this block.
Let's go!
Prospect Roundup.
All right.
Woo!
All right. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
Oh, you can go first. I guess for everyone, it's been 3 weeks. So for everyone who doesn't know, we're going to pick 3 prospects to highlight. We had an internet outage and then something else 2 weeks ago that was too important to talk about. So we didn't do a prospect roundup like 2 weeks ago. So first time in 3 weeks, you have to at least have one guy that's not on the Blue Jays top 30 prospects. That is a requirement. You have 3 guys that aren't on it at all, but you must at least have someone that's not a top 30 prospect. And with that, I'll hand it over to you.
First one is Damiano Palmegiani. This guy got called up to High A Vancouver on June 22nd, and he hit a bomb in his debut. I'm just going to give you a check-in on him because, I covered him in that first game. I was like, this Damiano guy's a king. In the month of July, he's hitting 355, 2 homers. He's got 11 hits in 9 games, 10 runs scored, 9 walks in that time. The 355 average is really impressive. The 512 on base percentage is more. And how about the 581 slugging? Good for a 1093 OPS. The man is an animal.
He's not Italian, correct?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked to him. He's from Venezuela.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought you might have the information up. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to be snooty for 1 second. I'm proud of myself today that I picked 3 people off the top 30 and 3 people that we have not highlighted yet. So I think that's exciting. And I'm going to start with a man out of Torrance, California, 4th round draft pick in 2020 out of Loyola Marymount, good at lacrosse. It is Nick Frasso, a 23-year-old right-hander at the high A level. Frasso has been a dog, to be honest. He started the year at single A Dunedin. And how about ripping together 7 starts with only 2 runs allowed total, an 0.70 ERA. But he caught my eye because they promoted him somewhat recently. Let me get you that exact date just for everyone interested. June 28th. I was looking for guys with good Julys, to be honest. June 28th. He's made 2 starts. They have not been long starts, to be fair. But his first one against the Everett Aqua Sox, I would say. He pitched 4 no-hit innings with 1 walk and 10 strikeouts. 10 strikeouts in 4 innings. He faced 13 batters, and he struck out 10 of them. And then his next start was pretty solid, too. He only gave up 1 run in 3 innings. He struck out 1 in that one, so that's not crazy. But 7 innings of 1-run ball, 11 Ks so far. He's made the adjustment pretty well. It seems like probably if he just got promoted recently, have to use at the high level for a bit. I do think as we get to the middle of the year, there are some guys we could be talking about that could be promoted. Frasso's probably more of a, if he pitches well, late season bump to double A guy.
Frasso. I like that from you. I also like that you're picking guys we haven't talked about before. Also good that you're picking pitchers because I didn't. So we work so well together, Ben. I'm going for my next one, Gabriel Martinez. This guy's a little skinny. He's 19, 6 foot, 170 pounds. Going to eat a couple steaks. He was hurt back in May, and then he came back in rookie ball in early July. In the 2nd, 4th, and 5th, played games for the FCL Blue Jays. But since then, he came up to Dunedin, and he has been an animal. Already a homer. He's got 10 hits in 6 games, a 455 average in that time. The dude is just raking. He's begging to be called up to high A. And I bet you if he keeps it up, he probably will be quite soon. The man has not had a game without a hit so far. Whilst he's been up, that's a 6-game hit streak. In his most recent game against the St. Lucie Mets, 3 for 4 and a run scored. So have your eye on that guy because he's the GOAT, some say, in some circles around the country.
I mean, behind the scenes people, meaning you and me, will know that I also picked him and then flipped the choice. Obviously need to see sample size, but not going to hate on a guy for doing good with what he's got. Can't ask him to do more than get hits in the few games he's played. So that's pretty high. I'm into it. My next guy's not a pitcher, but he sounds like one. It's a Batesville, Indiana native. Shout out to Hoosier State. 2020 5th round draft pick out of Louisville. This is my guy, right fielder, Zach Britton. Let that sink in for a second. Yeah, Zach Britton. Now he spells it CH, not CK, just in case you were wondering.
Current Zach, real Zach, used to spell it CH, but then was like, screw that, I'm switching it. Now he's CK.
Tough for this Zach to not real Zach.
Fake Zach, yeah.
He's having a decent year. OPS at 793. He's a high walk and high power guy, just is in the 220s. But he's just been really raking pretty recently. If you go back to the start of July, where he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. I'm going to call it 8 because he pinch hit for 1 at bat in one of them. In 8 starts, he's had 4 multi-hit games, and the dude's driving in runs like nobody's business. 8 RBIs in those 8 starts. July 1st was like, I'm on the Vancouver Canadians. It's Canada Day. I'm going to hit 2 dingers just for fun, and hit 2 dingers that day. So I like what Zach Britton's doing pretty recently. Bumping his average up a healthy 20-some points over the last couple of weeks, and just continues to walk at a decent rate, which I'm always going to be in for. So is it a trade piece? Is it someone that you've seen a couple years? I don't know, but I'm into it, and I hope he gets promoted.
I like that from you. Good positivity. Are we spreading it? My next guy's a Canadian. All right. I have to be out here. I know it. People are saying the non-Canadian guy in this podcast is promoting Canada. Yeah, I am. All right. Someone's got to do it. If it's not going to be Shulman, it's going to be me. This guy is an Oakville, Canadian native. Right, just next to Mississauga, South Side, on Lake Ontario.
I got you.
What'd you say?
I was going to say Oakville, Ontario, if you wanted it, but you found it.
What did I say?
Well, you said Oakville, Canada. Brief tangent in the pod. Americans always do stuff like that. They're like, guys from Montreal,
Can you just
Canada.
let me have it? Can't
But
you just let me have it?
If I said someone was from Louisville, United States, you'd be like, they're from Louisville, Kentucky.
Just let me have it, man. I'm trying. I'm making an
All
effort, all right?
All right.
God, I said it was next to Mississauga and everything. Can't just let me have it. The guy, now you don't even want to know about him. He's doing well. He's doing well. He got called up to Dunedin like semi-recently after rehab stint. He's got 2 homers in 15 games, but 19 hits in those 15 games, 17 runs. His BABIP is nearly 450, which is kind of nonsense. I mean, that's just crazy. The guy hits the baseball and half the time he's on base. That's freaking crazy. 7 walks, too. The on-base percentage up above 400. I mean, the dude's just raking. So this Oakville, Ontario native, this guy's great. It's right next to Brampton, right above Hamilton. You can't miss it. It's a good little water town. You got to love Oakville.
Oh, no.
What are you doing?
For all our audio listeners, just absolute chaos on the video side. I am sorry that I killed your spirit. I feel bad.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
I especially don't want to hurt my friends from Greenwich, United States. So I get it. Sounds weird, doesn't it?
It's all right. It's fine. No, it's great. It's where I live.
All right, we're wrap it up on this one.
All right.
I will also clarify for everyone listening at home, we actually both picked all off the top 30 guys. It was kind of a niche guys pod. And sticking with that, I'm going to go to rookie ball. We don't check on there a lot, but like eventually these guys are going to matter, And some of them are actually really valuable because they're 18, and if they pitched well or hit well for a short period of time, you can really convince a team to take a chance on them. And for that, I got Eliande Alcalde out of
Not
Valencia.
Eliande.
He is a 2003, by the way, 2003 born. And he's having a solid start. Rookie ball started later than the other divisions, just for anyone who needs to know. So like 5 starts overall, 3.52 ERA, 21 strikeouts to 6 walks is real nice. 1.09 whip is real nice. But even more recently, his last 3 starts where he's faced off with the Phillies, the Tigers, and the Phillies Florida Complex League teams. This is his first year in the Florida Complex League, by the way. He spent the last one in the Dominican League, which is also rookie ball. He's pitched 15 innings, allowing 2 runs, and he's struck out 12 batters over that span, only walking 1. So like he has 1 start where he gave up 5 earned runs, and even his first start of the year he gave up 2. But pretty much since he's like settled in, he's been absolutely nasty. Like this dude is striking people out. He's taking people's names. He's blowing kisses to the crowd. and he's making Florida a fun place to be. And I like Aleander Alcalde.
Gotta love that from that guy. I'm proud of him.
Yeah. All right, that's all we got today on Locked On Blue Jays. We gave you some prospects, but maybe you want to give host Lindsey Crosby a little call on Locked On MLB Prospects. He's prospect encyclopedia. He's going deep on the MLB stars of tomorrow. It's free and available wherever you get your podcast. But for now, that's going to do it for the weekend. By the way, because we said prospect roundup, this is the Royals pod, I guess. Shout out to Ricky Tiedemann and Yosver Zuleta, who will be playing this Saturday in the Futures game, Saturday night. So if you want to see a couple Blue Jays prospects, there are 2 pitchers for the Blue Jays that will be in the Futures game. But for now, we're saying peace until the future. He's Matt Bonaparte. I'm Ben Shulman, and we will see